Here we go. Showtime. Fanatics Fest 2025. How we feeling? Are there fans of the New York Giants in this room? Yeah. Are there fans of the New York Knicks in this room? Yeah. Guys, you got to see what's going on behind the curtain. You will not believe what is about to come out here right now. It is really, really cool. My name is Kyle Brandt. I'm the host of Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. These people back here are about to come out on the stage need you. There's going to be some participation in this. I'm telling you, Vince Carter needs you. Malik Nabers needs you. They need you. I just got to call out one guy. This guy with the mustache with the number 17 jersey. Is that a Plexico Burress jersey? What a turn around. Turn around. Plexico Burress in the house. Why not? Game-winning catch in the touchdown in the Super Bowl. I love it. And he's taking a selfie. Of course he is. Guys, this is going to be really fun. Life memories about to happen on this stage right now. But we got to get out here somebody very special. We are right up the road, of course, from Wall Street. This is a guy you want to invest in. Emmy Award-winning broadcaster and NBC Sports play-by-play voice for Big Ten Saturday night. He'll also work NBC's upcoming NBA coverage. And Wikipedia says he's 17 years old. It's crazy. I can't believe it, but it does say it. And it's nice to have up on stage here an Eagle who doesn't rely on the tush push to do his job. It's Noah Eagle. Get him out here. Come on, Fanatics Fest. Let's go. My man.
What's up, Fanatics? New York, what's up? What Kyle didn't tell you, it's all in the skincare. You know, I might look 17, but I'll give him the secrets afterwards, backstage. We have a fantastic panel here tonight. I don't think this is where I'm going to sit, but I'm going to sit here for now anyway. Feel real comfortable about this. We've got a wonderful crew that's going to be out here on stage. It's all about New York. We're in New York, the wild ride that we call being a New York sports fan, the epic comebacks, the fierce rivalries, the unforgettable heartbreaks. We've assembled this killer panel to make sure that we can get the essence of all of that. The New York to the core athletes, the super fans that are as loud and as wild as any crowd that you're going to see in the city. It's New York versus the world, so let's get to it. Our first panelist, a Coney Island, Lincoln High School legend. He followed up a spectacular two-time All-Star NBA career by becoming a literal god of basketball in China. Three-time CBA champion, a McDonald's All-American right here in New York, two-time All-Star, once a Knick, always a Knick. It is Starberry himself, Stephon Marbury. Our next panelist, an explosive threat to go to the house every time he touches the ball. He set an NFL record for receptions by a rookie wide receiver with 109. You could argue that this guy is a top 5, top 3, maybe top 1 swaggiest dudes in the NFL. He's number 1 on the New York Football Giants. It is Malik Nabers. Well, every great wide receiver needs a great quarterback to throw him the ball. And Malik has certainly found himself one this year. He's a veteran signal caller, won a Super Bowl right across the way here in 2012. Two-time All-Pro, and he will be under center this fall. For the New York Football Giants, it's Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson. She is a two-time Olympic gold medalist, the creator of her own fashion line. She's a regular courtside at MSG for just about every New York Knicks game that you can do, living and dying with the Knicks, as a lot of you guys are. She's doing it in high class, high style. The one and only Suni Lee. I mean, we still got, we got 2 more chairs there. I mean, this already is an all-star crew. Let's welcome a couple more. Improbable Teardrop in 1999 beat the Heat, only the second time an 8 seed has taken out a number 1 seed. That one was en route to the NBA Finals, shocked the world, that miracle run right here in New York. These days you can find them courtside at the Garden with other of the AAU vibe dad types of the New York Knicks. Give it up, 2-time All-Star, Allan Houston. Look, I'm not saying that Marbury and Allan didn't live above the rim. I'm sure Malik could get up as well and probably throw some down. But this dude's at a different level. 22 NBA seasons played, tied for the most all time. NBC Sports NBA analyst now, which makes me real happy. Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer. You just don't see guys get their jerseys retired by multiple franchises very often. And he was also this guy's McDonald's All-American teammate in 1995. I'd argue the best one ever. Give it up, former New Jersey Net, half man, half amazing, Vince Carter. All right, just real quick, one time overall. This panel's ridiculous. Let them hear it.
Crazy.
Let them hear it. Come on. I like that energy. I like that energy. All right, we're going to go around and really start out with just describing a New York fan and a sports fan that lives here, you know, like we're trying to describe it to someone who's never been here before. And Steph, you're from here, so I feel like you've got the most intimate knowledge. How would you describe what a New York sports fan looks, sounds, and feels like?
We're delusional. We're the most delusional people on the earth when it comes to sports. We believe only in what we do. But on a serious note, being a fan of New York is one of the greatest things that you could possibly be. From me coming from Coney Island, you know, the Knicks, like that's everything. Playing inside Madison Square Garden, Giant Stadium, Yankee Stadium, Mets, Shea Stadium. Well, I don't know if it's Shea, MetLife. But going to all of these places in New York, when you experience that energy and that feeling, especially when you're winning, it's indescribable. You can't really explain it.
Well, like you played here in the prime of your career, some of your best years in the NBA were wearing the blue and the orange, but you went to China, you were revered there, you still are. I mean, you walk around there, you get mobbed. It's actually crazy if you see the videos, but you come back after your time there. What do you remember about your first game back at MSG?
Well, you know, I always wanted to play for the New York Knicks since I was in my mother's stomach, because my mom is a Knicks fan, right? My mom just recently passed away, so, you know.
Love.
Thank you. And she always talked about the Knicks growing up, you know, about the Knicks. So playing for the Knicks, that was, you know, that was the best thing that could ever happen. And then when I first went to my first game, driving down the Ave and seeing my name on a marquee when it said, "Welcome home," that probably was the best feeling. I ain't play that good that game, but that was the best feeling, you know, as an athlete who grew up in New York, who desired to play for their hometown team. The first game was amazing.
Can't say that he's not honest. That's very honest. By the way, your mom was so revered in NBA circles all around the league. Everybody absolutely adored her. Just like the fans here have learned to adore Malik Nabers. What a rookie campaign you put together this year, man. A hearty congratulations, certainly in order. You know, you grew up in Louisiana, you went to LSU, you know what big-time crowds are like. You know what passion from a fan base is like. I mean, Tiger Stadium is a different level, and I'm not saying that we're comparing MetLife Stadium to Tiger Stadium, but with the fans trekking from New Jersey, with fans coming from Connecticut, fans obviously coming from New York City to get to New Jersey. You know, I lived in LA at one point in my life. I found Giants fans out there all the time. What was your first year interacting with Giants fans, being around them? What was the vibe that you got?
I'm sure my experience was pretty different from a lot of other players, but I mean, nothing but love. They show, all the sports that we have in New York City, they show nothing but love. They decided to come watch us play, hopefully win. And after, you see all the videos after the Knicks games of them going crazy. I need that going for the Giants this year. I mean,
Can he get a bing bong from anybody? Yeah, you see, my man knows what's up.
but definitely, they show a lot of love to us. We try to give back as much as possible, because the love they have for us. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see all the fans come from all over. Every time I'm in a different city, you might meet somebody that's old, young, it don't matter. They still a New York Giants fan. They still a Knicks fan. They always ask me if I'm going to the Knicks game. So, they love New York and they love the sports atmosphere for sure.
Have you had any specific fan interactions since you've been drafted in this last year plus that have really stood out to you?
By like signing anything? I heard somebody tell me to sign their neck. I did too.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, listen, you got to appease the fans, man. You're growing your brand. You're growing your brand. I love it. Vince, you obviously played in a number of places throughout your career, 22 years in the NBA. But as a young player in particular, especially as a visitor coming into MSG, just give an idea for everybody here what that was like against those really, really good Knicks teams.
Well, first of all, I want to backtrack because I've known that guy down there, Steph Marbury, since his days coming out of Coney Island and getting the opportunity to play AAU ball here. So getting to see what New York basketball and New York love was all about. Getting to the Nets, I got an opportunity to be a part of that rivalry, playing against you, seeing what the Knicks-Nets rivalry is like, seeing what the fandom is all about. And you guys will Russ, will get to experience that. It's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, this is what loyalty is like. New York fans, and I'm telling you all sports, I mean, whether you're Knicks, Nets, or otherwise, you guys will die on the cross for your team. And I appreciate that, good or bad. But I just want you guys to know, in your fandom, these guys, each and every one of us, and lady, put the work in, blood and sweat, tears to be the best version of themselves each and every night for your guys. And we do appreciate your fandom.
Who won the AAU game? Who was taking away the AAU victories? Come on.
We played together. We won a medal together in Argentina. Yes.
Yes, we
Vince
did.
and I won a medal together when we were playing. What's that? 16?
16U.
16-year-old.
So 16 years old, was he already dunking between the legs at that point?
He was touching the top of the backboard. Literally, I'm serious. I'm not playing. Him and a guy named Mark Sanford. These guys used to go and just casually, all right, let's see who could touch the top of the backboard. They'd go up, touch the top of the backboard, and dunk the basketball.
Yeah.
Easy.
I would say that we'd need video, but we've seen him do it, so I'm not even going to ask. Yeah, Suni, I'm curious. There's a lot of things I'm curious about. You went to so many Knicks games. You went to the Knicks playoffs games this year. You got to experience the Garden really at its best. You've also experienced Olympic Games and the energy and passion that comes with that, with people rooting for their country. How would you compare the vibe of Bercy Arena when you guys are going for another medal to what you saw and what you felt during the playoffs this year at MSG?
I feel like there's just both such different feelings. Like at the Olympics, obviously I've trained my whole life for this one moment, and then to get up on the stage and do what I'm supposed to do, it's definitely such a surreal feeling. But I mean, I really got sucked into the Knicks fandom this year, so out of pocket. But I feel like the feeling of like a buzzer beater just hits different, and like the reaction from the crowd is just super exciting.
What drew you into the Knicks atmosphere this year in particular? Because you were a mainstay there, along with other celebrity fans that are sitting courtside. I mean, it feels like you walk around, you're going to see somebody else when you turn your head. Russ, I know you were there as well. What specifically really stuck out to you about the vibe that you said, I got to keep coming back to this?
Yeah, I feel like, the Knicks fans are just so passionate and loyal, and I feel like everybody there is just so excited to watch them and cheer for them because it's just such a big crowd. But yeah, I feel like it's just so passionate and so much fun. The energy is absolutely amazing, and it just makes you want to keep coming back.
Russ, we're going to get to you in a second, I promise. You're not just going to sit here looking really good the entire time, because you do look very good. That beard is very extra trimmed up today. Yeah, listen, man. I'm glad that you caught me, man. You know, I'm not scotch-free just because I'm hosting this thing, so I appreciate you keeping me at wraps. Vince, I do want to just real quick go back to you. You mentioned playing in New Jersey. You also played playoff series with the Raptors at MSG. I want to start, though. I saw we had a couple. I see a net shirt over there, maybe. I don't know, potentially. Very possibly. When you were with New Jersey and you guys were playing against the Knicks, how much extra pride did you take in those matchups, knowing that there was that rivalry between the two? I mean, Steph knows it too from his time with the Nets before he became a Knick.
I mean, you walk into it understanding what it's about. It's like you hear about it, you know about it, but like when you're actually in it, you're like, oh, okay, this is what that rivalry is. And I mean, there's only one, well, the best rivalry I've ever been in was Duke, Carolina, but that comes after that. I mean, it takes you back to that as far as the fandom and the love for your team and the appreciation you have for the sport. So as a net, like, yeah, we're playing the Knicks. It's like, okay, cool. But like, no, we're playing the Knicks. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand the assignment now. So yeah, it was amazing. I mean, getting to play against this guy, having to guard against this guy and that team as a Raptor fan and being swept the year before by them, and then getting the opportunity to win on their floor the next year was satisfying because of their fandom and being booed. Like, we're celebrating, they're still booing us and the game is over. But like, you know, that's just what it's about, and you have appreciation for that.
Yeah, I think Allan is rerunning everything in his head right now. I could see that.
I remember the first part of it. I don't remember the second part of it.
I think everybody in the crowd would agree with that. Suni, just finish this sentence for us. Real New York fans are blank.
Real New York fans are loyal and built different, I would say.
I like that.
Yeah.
Allan, what do you think? You know, you got to play in front of them for years through the majority of your career, through your best years in the NBA. What sticks out? What are New York fans to you?
A lot of adjectives. You know, a lot of passionate, loyal, delusional, as Steph said, irrational. I think I would describe it as New York fans are like your aunt or your uncle who tell you exactly what they feel like they can tell you, and a lot of times they're right. But they know you just enough to say, hey, this is how I feel because I love you this much. But they don't know everything, but they know just enough to have a real strong and passionate opinion. And what I've learned is over the years that it really is love. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, it's family, it's love, and sometimes you're not gonna like it. And sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's inaccurate. But at the end of the day, I can look back, and I think Vince might have said this, but I look back and I feel like that aunt or that uncle that challenged me helped me grow, helped me learn and grow as a man and as a person. And I look back and I'm like, man, there's no other experience like going through that. There's no other experience like going through that. And I feel like, you know, other than other people who challenged me, I'm better for it.
Would you say that those are the uncles that maybe got a little too carried away at the family reunion every now and then too?
Yeah, they felt like every game was a family reunion.
I feel like you agree, yeah?
Yes, I agree on a whole bunch of different levels about New York Knicks fans. I mean, I'm a New York Knicks fan, so I talked about the players as well as a Knicks fan, so I understand it. The best way to describe a New York Knicks fan is they make you go out on the court and play the way how you're supposed to play, or they will talk about you. And they will talk about you until you play the way how they know you can play. And if you don't play the way how they know you can play, you gotta go.
Hey, you know what? That's a great answer. Yeah, say that. Clap more a little bit for that, because that's a great answer. I'm not gonna be long because everybody wants to hear from Russ, but I will say that when I often talk about New York Knicks fans, it's like New Yorkers put so much time and energy into their craft. It's the most competitive place in the world. It's the hardest place to live and grow up and compete. Everything in New York, you're competing in everything you do. And I think when they come to the Garden, when they come to the stadium, they want to see you basically compete that night the way I had to compete that day.
Yeah, that's really well said. Really well said. Let's hear it real quick before we get to Russ, because I'm really excited. I'm really excited to hear your perspective, and I know you were talking about this a little bit with Melo about you won your Super Bowl at MetLife, dominant fashion, by the way. That was the pinnacle, in theory, of your sporting career at this point. And now you get to play there half the Sundays out of the season coming up. Yeah, I think everybody should be excited like that. So, going from being a visitor where you've experienced the anti of what you're going to get to winning a Super Bowl there to now having that be your home every single week, what are you feeling as you get ready for this season, and what are your thoughts on what it's going to be like once the season gets going?
Well, it's funny because actually my locker is the same locker I had when we won the Super Bowl. That's
Good omen.
Second thing is that my locker is right next to this dude who's the best receiver in the league. So I get to share with him. And so, I think a big part of it is, the biggest thing about being successful is just focus on the work. I think that, kind of like Allan was talking about, I think people want to be able to see you put everything into it every day. And that's a requirement, right? And I think a big part of it for me is stepping in between the white lines, no matter what field it is, right? Like I always anytime I've stepped onto a field, I've always believed, I walk the field pregame and I do my routine. And one of the things I pray for on the field is that one kid in that stadium, boy or girl, gets to see somebody that they were like, man, I want to be like that one day. And if one kid can see that day, I know I've accomplished something. And so for me, I came here because of him. Big reason of it. I really wanted to play with a guy like special like him. I think also too, we got a lot of guys that have put a lot of hard work into it. We got a really good defense, rushing the passer. We got a lot of dudes. That's a good thing. So I think a big part of it, man, is elevating the culture, in every way, and trying to make sure our walkthroughs, our practices, our mindset is everything is championship level. From the way we walk into the building to the time we arrive to the time we get on the field and get extra work, in the red zone throwing to this dude or whatever it may be, whoever we work with. And our film sessions, we spend a lot of time, post-practice, spending an hour and a half rewatching the film. Everybody's in there. Everybody's talking. He's leading the way with the receivers. I'm leading the way with the quarterbacks and everybody else. And I think a big part of it's just being in the moment, and so. But I do love playing at MetLife. It's a memory that we got to make more of them. We got to make more of them.
You mentioned something in particular about the defense that you guys are going to have. And when you won in Seattle, you had one of the all-time great defenses in the Legion of Boom on the other side. My question to you is, what does practicing against a defense like that do for you guys on Sunday? I feel like Malik probably feels the same way. When you got elite guys on that other side, how much more prepared are you come game day?
Well, anytime I remember my rookie year coming in the NFL, and I played in the ACC, game moves fast and everything else. But when you come into the National Football League, you're getting everybody's best player in college. Plus you're also in that same time you're getting some of the world's best. So I get to go against guys like Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor and all these guys on the defensive side that helped me become a better player every day. And I think the same thing as we get to go against our defense and the pass rush that we have. Our offensive linemen do a great job of giving me enough time to hit this dude or whoever it is, or Wandell or all those guys, And so what it does is just elevates practice, the competition level. You always want practice, and this goes for any young kid here, right? Like the level that you practice at has to be 10 times harder than the game. Because what happens is when you push yourself in the drills, when you push yourself in the individual work, when you push yourself on 11-on-11 in football or 5-on-5 in basketball or whatever it may be, when you push yourself to that extreme, what happens is the game becomes normalized and the game slows down. Everybody talks about the game slowing down. Well, part of that is experience. But for a guy like him who was a rookie last year, was the best arguably in the league, well, why did it work so well? Because when he practices and goes, it's got to be at this level. And there's more to that every day. And I think what happens is when you compete at that level daily and your mindset is that daily, it just becomes the game becomes smooth and becomes easy. And I think that's what we're doing every day, competing against each other and trying to make ourselves the best in the world.
So this is for everybody. I know that nobody up here has personally been booed because you guys are all too great at what you do. Yeah, you're too good, right,
What?
Steph? You're too good.
What?
Yeah, you're all too good. Plus, everybody loved the Starberry shoes too much. They would never boo this man. They would
If
never
you don't
boo
get
this
booed
man.
in New York, you ain't playing New York, yo.
All right.
If you never got booed. You gotta get booed in New York.
So this is what I want to do. We're gonna put some time up on the clock. I actually think it would be great if we booed them so they could feel what it would feel like. I just think they need to feel what that's like to be booed. Can we get? Yeah, we're gonna get 5 seconds on the clock. You guys ready? Because I'm gonna do it.
5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Ready? Boo! How'd it feel?
You can do better.
How'd it feel?
What are you doing? Boo! Make a shot. Boo!
You messed my parlay up. Boo!
Oh man, listen. You guys already said it. Steph, Allan, I think you guys put it so well about what New Yorkers and New York fans, when they get on you, it comes from a place of love deep down. Maybe it doesn't feel like that in the moment, but how do you guys compartmentalize and you kind of view the crowd and you get this vibe? Malik, I know you've had nothing but spectacular plays all through your career, but when there's anything negative that you might have to deal with, whether it be from these fans, whether it be from others, what do you do? How do you kind of get yourself away from that?
I kind of go back to preparation. Main one, if I have a game where just not looking at the ball too right well, where I'm dropping a lot of catches that I'm not supposed to be dropping, or easy ones I'm just missing up on, getting open I'm just missing up on. It goes back to preparation. It goes back to practice, like Russ was saying. It has to be 10 times in the game, in practice before the game. So when I get in practice, I'm always open. I'm always telling the quarterback, give me the ball, because I'm getting ready for that game. I might be going against practice 10. I might be getting open. But from the perspective of the fans, he might be on me sometimes, deflecting the ball, so it makes it feel like I'm getting locked down. But the whole time, it's other plays where I'm getting open. So the perspective of what they might see between what I might see. So I'm in practice like I'm going hard. So I don't know. It's kind of like I just go back to preparation, just remembering where I come from, remember what I want to do, remember what drove me to get here where I'm at now. So just having that why, I just remember what my why is. That's what I go back to for sure too.
And I want to add to that. Go ahead. You clap for that for sure. And I want to add to that. So for fans, for young kids like you were talking about, Russ, you go through tough times. One thing I think I can speak for everyone up here on this panel and say, regardless of how things go, good or bad, we all trust in our work, which has gotten us here, which has gotten us these opportunities to continue to play. For me to play 22 years, you can have good, bad, or whatever. My role has changed, but I trusted in my work. And regardless of what you read on the internet, or regardless of what the opinion of somebody says, I trust in my work because I know what I do every day. And I know what I put in every day. And understand this, sometimes you put the work in, and when it's game time, or when it's showtime, or when it's that opportunity, your best work doesn't shine through. But do you still trust in the work? And I think that's what each and every one of us have gone through. Regardless of a boo, you stink, you can't do this, retire, we've heard it all. But these guys still come to work every day, trusted in their work, still wanting to be the best version of themselves. And I challenge everyone that you're gonna have a bad day. I think sometimes fans tend to forget that. We as humans have bad days. How do we bounce back from that? Do we just like, oh, it's over with, I'm done? No, we go back to work, put the grind in, put the work in to try to avoid some of those situations.
You know, one of the things, that, my old mental coach used to say, he passed away of cancer, but he used to say, there's never been a statue of a critic, and the reality is about trying to be great is there's always going to be some amazing high days, but there's going to be some lows too. And I think what makes a great player great is the ability to not flinch, to be able to stay poised in the midst of it, to the ability to get back up again and keep swinging. The ability to do that over and over again. And that's who guys really want to be around, guys or girls or whatever it may be. They want people that no matter what, you get knocked in the mouth, you can get back up. And so I think a big part of it too is that you got to be your best advocate in between your own ears. Like if you look back at like their tough times, right? Or I always say to some of my teammates or friends or whatever is like when you're going through something negative, look at the past 5 text messages you had. And what would you say? What did you say? And what was the tone of it? Same thing to your own personal self. At the end of the day, you know, kind of like what Malik was saying, like you're putting in the work every day. Like Vince was saying, you put in the work every day. But there's people who don't really know the game necessarily, or maybe they don't understand what's necessarily going on. But you start believing outside noise, and that could be good noise, that could be bad noise. And so a big part of the process to me is the ability to speak life into yourself every day, speak life into yourself every moment. Like there's I think the greatest tennis players, the greatest basketball players, the greatest shooters. I always say like if Steph Curry is a 94% free throw shooter career, right? Let's just say that's his number. I'm not sure exactly, but somewhere around there, probably I'm assuming. If it's 94% and he misses 2 free throws in the NBA Finals, right? And he comes back to the line again, does that make him a bad free throw shooter? Absolutely not, right? So to get to the level that we're at, right? I know in particular football, there's, I don't know, about 1,600 football players, 32 teams or whatever it is. There's 8 billion people in the world. And so you have to always remember where you're at and the opportunity. And for any kid that's trying to be successful and get to where Malik is, for example, I think a big part of it is that are you doing everything you can mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically to be at the level that he's at? Because somebody's trying to get there. And if you want it to be you got to know that there's going to be ups and downs and valleys, but understanding that you can overcome them all.
Really good insight. I do think that Vince was hearing those retirement things from people because he was getting half off at the movies by the time he ended playing, but that's mostly just it for you. I do actually we did have some good audience participation a moment ago. I do want to get back to that just momentarily here. If this famous Knick fan invited you to a game, would you go? Let's just go for a couple here. Let's start with everybody's new favorite, Timothée Chalamet. Give me a yeah, give me a no. That's
thumbs up.
I thought. Yeah, I don't even think I need to ask about Suni. I think everybody in here would just say, yeah, we got a double thumbs up. All right, what about Ben Stiller? How are we feeling about Ben Stiller?
I like it.
Yep. I mean, that's Zoolander. That's good stuff. What about Larry David? We got any Larry David fans here? That's not a great photo of Larry David that they provided us. I feel like his hair has looked better than in that one right there. His enthusiasm is very curbed. What about Bad Bunny? What are you feeling about Bad Bunny? So, come on. Have you sat next to Bad Bunny, Suni?
No.
Would you like to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a yeah. That was a resounding yes. Rightfully so. Bad Bunny is awesome. All right, what about Sting? I feel like a different demographic, maybe.
I don't even know who that is.
There should be more cheers for Sting,
Yeah, come on. Sting deserves a little bit more love than that. All right, I feel like we can't move on before saying, Spike Lee, who wants to sit next to Spike Lee?
Yeah, Spike!
Steph, do you remember your first interaction with Spike Lee when you got to the NBA?
Of course. When I played my first game, Spike was all draped out with number 3 stuff. He got his custom outfits, but I think Spike is the number 1.
Yeah, he's number 1. Well, Allan, here's my question to you because
He paid the money. He paid the money.
No doubt. That's very true.
He paid the money.
Yeah. He invested. He invested to get to that spot. My question to you is this. We see Spike going nuts. Obviously, the legendary moment with him and Reggie Miller is probably a low light for him in terms of his Knick fandom. But he did travel. He did go to Indiana to watch a victory the following game. I guess my question to you is, while you were a Knick and you were in some heated battles and you made a run to the NBA Finals and Spike is always there, front and center, what type of energy does he actually provide you on the floor?
My first interaction with Spike was I was in college. I was like, dude, this dude is serious. We were playing at Kentucky, and I'm like, what the heck is Spike Lee doing at a Kentucky-Tennessee game? But
He loves SEC basketball.
Yeah. I think at first, when I was a free agent, and I was that summer before I signed with the Knicks, they had all these celebrities make a video, and Spike was on that video, and he was just going on and on. Allan, we need you. Allan, we need you. And so my first time really sitting with Spike was before, he was on the floor. But Spike is like someone you love to see the energy. Sometimes you want to tell him to shut up, you know what I mean? Because he hadn't like when we're playing somebody like Vince and Vince gets going, it's like, all right, Spike, chill out a little bit. Because I know if I was...
He's the motivator.
If I was on that other side, I'd be like, yeah, my mouth would be watering now looking at Spike. So, but the thing is, like, he is like, again, I use family references. He is like your big brother, your uncle's over there, like trying to gas you up, keep you going, and you appreciate that. Like, you appreciate that. So, but sometimes you do, and I'm like, all right, Spike, you gotta know when to say when now.
No question about it. The motivating factor is really cool. And it's also been really cool for, I think, all of us to see all you guys go back these last 2 years for these playoff runs. It's been the Knicks AAU dads vibe that we've seen. Larry Johnson, Latrell Sprewell, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Bernard King, Melo, these two guys. It really is once a Knick, always a Knick. You're part of that fraternity forever.
It's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to go into Madison Square Garden as a player and watch your team grow, watch them go to the Eastern Conference Final and cheer them on. It's a lot of fun as a basketball player, but as a fan, I'm a Knick fan at heart first. So when I see that, it makes you want to get on the court, but...
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's a couple times.
It makes you want to get on the court and
He's
play.
been on the court one time.
I'm watching on TV like, yo,
Between him and John,
really?
I think the ref had to stop the game a couple of times. They were on the court.
It's good. Great enthusiasm, and it's good for the energy for the fans.
But you know what I love about it? I think what it is when you played and you've been in that uniform and you've gone through everything that we've talked about, and you see the other people that have gone through it, you realize how hard it is, right, to wear that uniform, right? And I think the reason guys are so supportive, especially in a moment like this when we've all waited so long, right, to get back to this moment. And all those players that you see have been waiting and waiting and waiting to experience what has happened over the last couple of years. And you realize how hard it is to wear that jersey, to be in it. So you just want to, like, again, they are your little brothers. They are like your nephews. You want to see them have success because you realize how big this moment is for them.
Suni, we've been talking about you as a celebrity fan at this point, but of course, we all know you as a gymnast. And many Olympic gold medals, the last 2 Olympic Games, you have certainly performed at the highest level. And so you know what the pressure that comes with that is. And Tokyo is obviously different because of the COVID stuff, but this past year in Paris was certainly special. Being at MSG, feeling that crowd versus a gymnastics crowd. Give us the differences, give us the similarities, and what it means to perform in front of people like that.
Well, I feel like it's certainly, it's very different. I mean, being an MSG, obviously they're playing for the country, but they're more playing for New York. So it's like all of the New York fans in one place, whereas like at the Olympics, it's kind of everybody. And we're always going against different countries. So a lot of the time I'm getting booed by other countries, which really sucks. But
How do you say boo in French? Do you know?
There's a video of this lady after I realized I'd got 3rd place. There's a video of this lady. One's like with an American flag, and the lady next to her is like, boo, boo, like she's just straight on booing me right next to an American flag, and it's like the funniest thing ever. But it's just completely different, and also I feel like gymnastics is so much smaller than like basketball, football. Like everybody's always watching you guys, whereas I feel like for us, people only really watch at the Olympics, so it's like, it's just very different. Like my fans are always constantly doubting me because I'm like always the underdog. Nobody really believes in me until I have to show them every time. So Yeah, it's just
We
really
got a
fun.
lot of those up here. I feel like we got a lot of chips on these shoulders. But you exhibit at the highest of highs, and it is interesting perspective. I'm going to get back to you on that French. I've been trying my best. So.
I feel like you know.
I probably do, but I'm not going to go there. Vince, we did talk about you joining the NBA on NBC family. We are so excited to be bringing back the NBA on NBC.
Thank you.
Just like, the legendary moments of the game, Allan Houston's shot against the Miami Heat, that was on NBC, as were so many of the other iconic NBA moments. It'll be back this fall. It's got just a ridiculous background and reputation that comes with it. But what are you excited about in terms of bringing the NBA back to the iconic network, and what can fans expect next season?
Well, I'm excited about that particularly because I played in that era where it was NBA on NBC, and you hear the theme song and you being a part of it and the energy it brought, seeing the starting lineups again, guys running out and fans getting to really experience that from the TV perspective. For me, and I know you know this, I enjoyed TV and calling games and being in the studio to protect us as players and to really bridge the gap between players and fans and helping you understand what we go through, how we think, and breaking down plays. And it's fun because you guys can see a play, whether it's football or basketball, and see it one way, and we'll see it a totally different way. But now you get a different perspective of how we think, how we operate, how psychotic each and every one of us up here are at times. We're chill and laid back out here until you put us in our environment. We're trying to cut your head off, and we're just trying to, I just want to bridge that gap. And I really enjoy talking the game and just explaining it and bringing everyone together.
We can feel that joy. All right, I do want to just do a real quick rapid fire. Let's go around, complete the sentence just very quickly here. Suni, let's start with you. When I'm at MSG courtside, I avoid eye contact with who?
I feel like anybody on the court, or like Timothy Chalamet, he always looks so stressed.
He is stressed.
Always.
I know. Just take a melatonin or something, man. We just knock you out. I feel like he's got so much energy that would get him back to neutral. We'll get him there at one point. Steph, one Nick great that you want to see back courtside would be?
Why y'all gonna do me like this?
Answer that.
Big Oak!
Oakley!
I do, this is, and I know it's tension, and I understand the tension. I know it was violation, but because Oakley was such a big part of my, my growing up, watching him play, watching that toughness. He kind of gave me that when I went on the basketball court from watching him. When you go on the court, high school, watching him and then going playing high school basketball, you knew a mentality that you saw on the basketball court, and that disposition, I was able to take some of that. And I know him personally. He's a great dude. Yeah, something happened, but, something happened with me, and we moved on. So I believe in the future. I hope he can come back.
It'll happen. When the time is right, it'll happen.
Time is right, yeah, when it's right.
Allan, of the current Knicks on the roster, which one would fit best with your 90s Knicks teams?
So you said one. I'm going to say Jalen Anunoby. I can't pick one. I'm going to say Jalen because of his mentality, just the way he approaches the game every day in practice. OG because of just his overall skill set, what he brings to both sides of the court. Just totally selfless, but he has much more that he has to offer that he will bring in the future. So I would say both of them. I can't pick one of those.
Before we get out of here, I do want to make sure that we hear from Russ and Malik once more. Just looking at the first 6 games of the season, Russ, you've got Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints, and Eagles. That is not a simple start to the season, but we know that this team, as you said, loaded with offensive weapons. I saw Tyrone Tracy walking around here somewhere, had a ridiculous rookie season, and that defense is absolutely stacked. So you look at the beginning of this season, how do you envision the start going, and what can these fans expect in terms of the results on the field?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, where we want to get to, you got to try to beat everybody anyway, and so that's just got to be the mentality. There's no way around it.
I'm mad at that.
That's big time. Malik, your first thought in your head when you found out you were going to be playing for the New York Football Giants was what?
Ooh, that's far. Shit, I'm from the South, so going to the East Coast, I was like, man, that's a lick. I was like, that's far from home, but I'm like, I started thinking about all the good things. I started seeing all the other athletes that came from there, that started playing there, and they became icons. They became legends. They became one of the city. Like, every time I see, like, Melo out, one of these guys out, you know, the fans show them love. They receive all kind of just love from the city. Like, that's when you know, like, you did everything that you could at the top of your game. You did everything right. You show love, and that's when the city gives it back to you. So when I came here and I seen all that, I was like, and I started receiving it after my first year. I'm like, okay, cool. The first step was good, but it's still a long ways to go to where I really wanted to get. But I'm sure, you know, with the help of these fans, it's going to take me there. So, you know.
Have you become a bacon, egg, and cheese expert quickly? Chopped cheese, what do you go with?
Nah, I ain't tried none of that yet. I tried chopped cheese, but to me, it's really basic.
Oh, don't do it. We can't end that way. We can't end that way. We'll get you the right spots. Follow this man right here. He'll take you to the right bodega. You'll be all right. No problem.
We're going to see.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody here. A huge thank you.
Guys, appreciate y'all.
To everybody on the panel.
Go, baby.
Enjoy the rest of the day at Fanatics Fest.